As-Salaamu Alykum wa rahmatullah. Welcome to Build with Barakah, the channel that we teach Muslim entrepreneurs how to build 6 and 7 figure businesses. Now, in this video, I'm going to share with you how we've generated over $150 million in sales over the last decade. And I just want to level with you because I know that people might say things like this all the time, right? But I hope that you take this video seriously. I hope that you imagine that you've paid me thousands of dollars just as most of my clients have over the years. And this is a video where I'm going to be breaking down exactly what you need to do. I'm going to show you proof. I'm going to show you case studies. I'm going to show you every single thing so that you can get started, build a halal business that comes with barakah, that doesn't only fill your bank account, but more importantly, fills your soul. So please pay close attention, close all distractions, focus with me for the next 15 minutes because I promise you what I'm going to share with you will significantly change your life, inshallah. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nido Abdo, and for over a decade, I've been working behind the scenes with some of the top entrepreneurs in the world. You're gonna see some of them on this video. And what I was doing for them is basically running their entire operations, everything from sales to marketing to hiring to managing their day-to-day business growth strategies. And I've learned a lot of things during that period. And just now, recently, I'm coming out to share what I've learned from them, what I've learned in that journey, what I've done to generate over $150 million for my private clients. So with that said, I hope you take this video seriously because in the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to be sharing a lot of gems with you. I mean, these are things that I've used for my client, one of my first clients, Shakir Hussein, and I've helped him generate over $12 million, exactly what I'm about to share with you in this video. Also, Dr. Tom, InsiderCircle.com, is one of the biggest coaches in the dental space. I worked with him for over 6 years, and we're making $5 million per year, and I was behind the operations, running the entire business. We also have Salim Omar. Salim was a CPA, and he wanted to share what he learned as a CPA to help other accountants who were struggling in their business. I came on board and we took his business to making over $45,000 per month. And this is just his side business, not his main business. He was still an accountant. So this is just side money that he was making, $45,000 a month. And I've taught this to thousands of entrepreneurs over the year. I've spoken at events in England, in US, in Canada, in Dubai. I mean, I can go on and on. But the point I'm telling you all this, my brothers and sisters, is not to brag or not to do any of that stuff, but just so that you know the information I'm about to share with you, even though it's not costing you anything to get it now because you're watching this on YouTube most likely, please know that people have paid me a lot of money to have me teach this or apply this to their business. In addition to that, I've been privileged to really have access to some of the smartest people in the world as well. Jeff Bushnell, who was Steve Jobs' first mentor and the founder of Atari, did a podcast. I was invited to AB Talks, one of the biggest podcasts in the Arab world, the biggest probably, with Shaquille O'Neal, met Sir Richard Branson. I mean, these are people that I was learning from, and now that, I've got to network with them. And again, a lot of this is stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you right now. But here's the first thing, right? What does business actually mean? Business is nothing more than solving a problem. Everything that you see around us, whether it's an airplane or cars or phones or restaurants, everything that we call business today, in one way, shape, or form, they're solving a problem for somebody. So think about what problem do you want to solve? And to think about that is, because building 6 and 7 figure business is just a journey, right? And in that journey, we have to have a role in that journey. And one of the key things I want to talk to you about, and again, I'll get more into this in another video, but this is one of the most powerful concepts that I've learned, that I've applied to my business and my clients' businesses, and it made a significant impact. And here it is. If you think about the world as a journey, right? And everybody has a role. There's a hero, there's a villain. There's a guide. There are just people who are just around us. They're extras, but we don't really know their story. If you think yourself, and ask yourself, what role are you playing in this journey? And if you're not clear with that, that is the first challenge that you need to overcome, because every time, whether we're reading a book or watching a movie or you name it, they use what's called the hero's journey framework. Because this is how the world revolves around stories. We revolve around having an identity. We revolve around challenges. We revolve around overcoming villains. And I could continue, but I think you get the point. So with that said, I believe that the most important role that you can play is the role of the guide, being a mentor. Why? Because even when you watch movies, right, when the hero is stuck, because every hero is on a journey to accomplish a goal, but even the hero gets stuck. And when the hero gets stuck, somebody always comes in and supports that person and gives them clarity and shows them the path and gives them the support and inspiration they need to continue on that journey. So with that in mind, you have to, as Muslims, the Prophet ﷺ said, was actually asked, who is the best amongst people? And his response was, the best of people are those who are the most beneficial to people. Think about that. Business, if we said business is about solving problems, you have to have the intention that you are starting this to help people, to be beneficial to people, not to just make more money, not to just have fancy cars and a house and all these other things which really are dunya focused, right? You have to serve. You have to take your role as a servant literally and figuratively in this case, and ask yourself, what can I do to serve? And ideally build a business around it, because that really gives you not only to build the business with barakah, but that really gives you something that you can be proud of, something that you can make an impact and make a difference in people's lives. Now, here are the three things. Now, with that said, this is just laying out the foundation, laying out the framework so that you understand exactly what you need to do to build a barakah business. But now what's next, right? So next is, who are you going to help, right? So that's understanding the market. Second is, what is the message, right? What is the solution? What is it that you're going to come in to help them with? What are you going to tell them that you're there for, right? You have to be very clear about this. And then the third component is the media. Which platform are they on? How are you going to communicate with them? So again, having these three things in place play a critical role to your success in business. And in fact, if just one of them is wrong, then everything falls apart. So for example, if you have a really, really powerful message, but to the wrong market, it's not going to work, right? If you have a really good message and the right market, but you don't have the media to communicate with them, it is not going to work. So you want to make sure all these three things are aligned so that you can make the biggest impact. Now, with that in mind, now you might be saying, well, Nido, I have a lot of ideas. What can I do? What can I, solve? Here's a simple way to think about this. In the last couple of years, right, in the past, what problems have you experienced that you were able to overcome, right? So I'll give you an example. My first mentor was a dentist. And when he opened up his clinic, because in dental school, they weren't taught about the business side of running a practice. So he struggled running the dental practice. Even though he was a great dentist, he didn't know the business side. So he struggled with that. But what he did was he learned marketing, he learned how to run a business, he learned about hiring, he learned about managing a team, all those different things, like I said, that he was never taught before. And then he turned his practice around and made a lot of money and was succeeded in his practice. And then guess what he did? Then he went back and then he helped other dentists who were stuck, who were where he was a few years prior to achieving success. And guess what? He actually started to make a lot more money helping dentists than he was in his own dental clinic. So if you ask yourself, did you struggle maybe with your, as a parent, did you struggle with certain mindset issues? I mean, we all have challenges. Now, if that's not the route you want to go, you can just figure out what people are struggling with, do a bit of research on the solutions that are available, and you package that, and that becomes your intellectual property, right? Because remember, if you are selling something, it has to be something that's yours. An idea that's just in your head or just a thought, it is not an intellectual property. So what are the components of a good intellectual property, right? Well, it has to have a name. Give it a name and give it something memorable, give it something unique that doesn't sound like everybody else, right? What everybody else has out there. Then what you need to do is lay out the steps to the solution. So for example, if your ideal customers are here and this is where the problems are, and they're trying to get here where the ideal outcome is that they want, what steps do they need to take to get there, right? So you give it steps. And then you need to know who this is for. So you have the name, You have the steps of the solution that someone can get, and then who is it for? Is it for professionals? Is it for parents? Is it for stay-at-home moms? I mean, who are you helping? And the more clear, the more clarity you have in that, the more your message will resonate with them. And here's a simple framework that you can use to figure this out. I help specific audience solve key problem by the method, framework, approach that's yours, that you've created, so they can achieve the outcome. So you can use this out, in ChatGPT, and we'll give you more prompts and things to simplify using AI, because this is a lot of stuff that we do is we work with AI tools. But this is a simple way to figure out who your ICP is, what's the problem that you solve, and what's the ideal outcome that you're helping them achieve. Now, we're at the stage now that you have your intellectual property, you're clear about what it does and who it helps. Congratulations. But what's next? Now you have to get attention for it. Once you get the right attention, you have to build connection with the audience. And once you're able to build connection, only then you'll be able to convert and make more sales. So what does that look like? So the first step is to lead with value. If you have something great, don't brag about it. Don't tell people how good it is. Show it to them. Demonstrate it. And how can you do that? Well, one of the easiest ways is through content today. I mean, you can, right now, I'm demonstrating a lot of the value that I can share, right? I'm not asking for people to buy. I'm not asking for credit cards. It's just, I lead with value. So what you can do is, whether it's short form, long form videos, if you prefer text, you can go to on LinkedIn or X, whatever it's called, today, and demonstrate your knowledge. Give people valuable tips. The reason is when people see that you can actually help them for free, then they wonder, well, if this guy is giving me, this girl is giving me all this stuff for free, I can only imagine what they might have under the curtain so that I can work when I start working with them. And the last part is gifts. So this is assets, right? So you might have a book, or you might have a report, or you might have a lead magnet, maybe something that you've put together that demonstrates the value that you can provide to your audience. Now, we've gotten their attention. What's next? Now you want to make connection. How do you make connection? The easiest and simplest way to make connections is to show people that you understand their problem, right? You actually want to articulate their problem better than they actually can even say it themselves. And more importantly, you want people to understand you. What do I mean by that? You want people to understand that you've been on the same journey that they have. For example, coming back to what I shared earlier about the dental world, right? So when my mentor, when he found the solution, he was able to understand his audience because he himself went through that same journey. So you need to articulate, how is your story relevant? How does it relate to them, right? What are the flaws? What are the things that you struggled with? And more importantly, how did you find the solution that got you to the outcome that they want right now? And you can demonstrate this, and the best way to do this is through presentations, whether it's webinars, whether it's workshops. But what a presentation allows you to do is it gives you enough time for somebody to actually get to know you, get to like you, get to trust you. This can be through a long form YouTube video. It can be through, like I said, like webinars. But it just has to be something where you're engaging with your audience, not like a 2-minute TikTok video or a 30-second reel. That's good to get in attention, but to get in people to actually connect with you and resonate and build that bond, it's got to be a bit longer than that. And then the last part is the conversion, right? How are you able to convert people? Well, first of all, you have to have a great offer, right? It's not enough to just have a solution, but how you package the solution. What is it that's making it appealing, irresistible? So this is one of the more important things that you need to keep in mind. And this is one of the things that we'll also be talking about in this channel on one of our upcoming videos. Second thing is you need to build trust and you need to build credibility. And the easiest way to do that is you're already doing it, right? You're giving away valuable content, you're demonstrating, you're leading with value, you're showing, you're telling them your story, you're making, you demonstrate how much you understand them. So all these things, what that does is that it builds trust and it builds credibility. And then the last part is risk reversal. And what I mean by that is, whenever someone does business for you, give them a time frame that they can opt out. Hey, for example, I can say, try my program for 30 days. If you don't like it, just let us know. You get 100% of your money back, no risk to you at all. So that's one of the things that you want to keep in mind, is how to avoid the risk. Maybe you can give something for a trial before they even buy. At the end of the day, if you are very confident in what you have to offer, then you have nothing to worry about. I mean, I'm very confident. Every time someone does business with me, I always make sure that they understand, hey, this is a value that I'm going to give you. And if you don't think that that's exactly what you're getting, just let me know, because even after you make the decision, you can change your mind later, right? And that really makes people feel at ease, and a lot more people will want to do business with you. Now, some people might take advantage of it, but the upside is much, much greater. Now, I'm going to give you an actual example here, right? So this is an offer that I've launched via LinkedIn. So we went to LinkedIn and we basically invited coaches and consultants who were struggling with conversion. All right. So these are people who were not able to convert their prospects into paying customers. So what did we do? First step is I led, as I mentioned, with value. I gave them a free book. And once they were able to get the book, next step was I invited them. I basically, there was a 5-minute video or so where I told them a little bit more about myself, what I've achieved, and more importantly, I invited them on a call so that I can help apply the strategies in the book to their business, right? So if you're a life coach, you're a business coach, you're a business consultant, each person might have a different need. So I said to them, we'll go through the strategies and I'll apply it to you. And a lot of them, filled out the form to make sure that they're the right fit. And then they scheduled a call. After they scheduled the call, I got notifications that all these people scheduled the call. And the end result of this campaign, following the same strategies that I've shared with you in this video, generated nearly $50,000 in a little bit over a month period. And I hope in this video, I made it clear enough that for you to succeed as a Muslim entrepreneur, to build a halal business that comes with barakah, first of all, you need to have the right intention, and that is to be a person that is out there to help people, to solve their problems, but also that you have the right business infrastructure in place where you're getting attention, you're making connections, and at the end of that comes the conversions. And I hope what I've shared with you, what I've demonstrated to you, is something that you can exactly model, something that we've done for all of our clients in different variations, but I hope that this was beneficial to you. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to this channel. It's a new channel. I'll be sharing with you a lot more tips. I'll be giving you AI prompts. I'll be giving you a lot more tools, templates, things that you can apply to your business, because I really want to help more Muslims become 6- and 7-figure earners than any other person on this planet. And that's my goal. And that's why I started this. And I hope that you become one of them. Jazakallah khairan, and see you on the next video.